Hello and welcome to my review of the Orks Beastboss for Warhammer 40,000. This model will cost you £23.50, comprises of 22 plastic components and supplied with one 50mm round base. Yes, that means that the round base is bigger than both the Ork Mega Knobs and, Terminators. The format of this review is I'll have a look at the model close up. There are no spare parts, so we'll skip straight to the size comparisons, and then I will go through all of its 9th edition rules. So first things first, I was initially looking forward to this model, and I think it's alright, but I think they should have included this model in the Beast Snagger army set along with Snagger. The model suits the Snagger boys so well. It really fits with that aesthetic. It fits with the killer rig and the Squigosaurs and the Squighog boys. But I think in this 9th edition refresh, it has been overshadowed by the fantastic Ork Warboss in Mega Armor. I'll show you him in a moment. So the model itself then, it was relatively straightforward to build. I'm not completely sold on everything about this model. I think the tusks are huge and may get in the way. I don't know whether that's the reason why a few of them have broken off. That's deliberate for the model. The jaw does jut out really quite far, although it's almost plush with his jaw. You've got this Git Finder Squig, which is a nice addition and allows him to be a bit more accurate. The bionic arm, yeah, I get it. Ork hands are very similar to human hands, but it's rare that we get these sort of bionic arms anyway on Orks. But with this refresh, we've also got the bionic arm for Scragbad. So I just don't know whether it works. I understand, the reasoning behind it, because he's probably lost his arm, fighting some kind of big beast or something. But the cool parts of this model is definitely this, like, beast skin. It's a bit spiky. It reminds me of like a drake, and the power claw in the shape of like a skull. That's a great combination there of Ork No-Watts and the beast sort of aesthetic. I really like that. That's quite cool. His shoulder pauldron's quite big, and he's got a load of fur there, and he's got a tiny little tactical rock. I would have liked something else happening on his base, because it seems a bit barren. Maybe you could use your imagination and add some orky bits, maybe a little squig on there or something, I don't know. But it just, like, there seems to be something missing, that's all. He's a very wide, thick character as well. I couldn't see him on a 40mm base, but there we are. So that's the Beast Boss. I will just go through some size comparisons. So firstly, I always like to get my knob out, which is right here, and give you a comparison between him. Size-wise, he is a bit bigger, but that's my issue, is although he's like a war boss, he's not massively big compared to a Mega Knob. And that's because he's just got a lot going on. He's very wide. You can't see a silhouette of a war boss that well, with all of the fur and the trophies and things like that. But there we go. That's how big he is next to a Mega Knob. Kind of blends in a little bit. Next to a new Ork boy, and I'm going to get hammered in the comments if I don't show you him next to an old Ork boy, which is right here. The only difference is on a 25mm base, but yeah, compared to a normal Ork boy, he's there. So that's where he measures up. He's definitely bigger than the Ork boys, so if you're just running Ork boys and then he's there, you're going to be able to spot him. Compared to a knob though, I mean, this is where the issues lie. He's only a bit taller than a knob, and if you're so inclined and you want to surround him by knobs, he's going to start to sort of blend in. The only thing setting him apart is this whopping great big 50mm base there. Again, I'll probably get hammered in the comments if I didn't compare him to a Snagger Boy, which are generally a little bit bigger than the Ork Boys. It depends on their pose, but they generally are stronger. They're strength 5, but yeah, compared to a Snagger Boy. So there you go. And I also feel I have to insert my smashing knob on this squig here, and there you go. And that's the issue right there, is that knob on a on that smasher squig is it's a fair bit bigger and definitely detracts from the Beast Boss. We can go one step further and put a War Boss on a Squigosaur, and then look at that. Look how small the Beast Boss looks like. I mean, who is the boss there? Definitely, I would say this one on the Squigosaur, and I can see why people would pick him over this one. I really can. Of course, the only issue with picking the War Boss on Squigosaur is the price. You're going to have to pay an extra £8. So it's whether you think that is worth it. The final comparison I'd like to make, I know there's a lot of comparisons in this review video, but is with the War Boss in Mega Armor, and this is where it really matters. Look how much bigger that War Boss is in Mega Armor. They're on the same size base. He's got the height and the thickness on him and the size of his weapon. You know, we've got this new Ooze Chopper, which is way bigger than him. I mean, to be fair, it's probably taller than the War Boss himself as well. But yeah, this is, you know, he's just dwarfed compared to some of the other models that they brought out at the same time. So I can see why he might be overlooked. And let's just compare him to a Death Dread as well, because I've got one nearby. So that's where he stands up next to one of those. Compared to Imperials, he's still going to hold his ground. We've got a Primaris, which is, I want to say, a little bit taller than him. Certainly his head is like at the top of the model. So if you're going against Primaris and you've got this Beast Boss, be prepared to be a bit shrunk a little bit, you know, especially if there's like 5 Primaris around him, or even some of the Primaris lieutenants and captains. Normal Space Marines though seems to fare a bit better, and next to Slime Arbo, yeah, that sort of works. But yeah, he's just diminutive is the word I kind of want to use, compared to the rest of the Ork range and the newer Space Marines. That being said, let's have a look at all of his rules to see if they can redeem his stature. So you'll find him in your brand new 9th edition Ork Codex. He is an HQ choice, but they have pushed him all the way back to the 9th page in the HQ section. It's kind of like the 3rd to last page. They put him below Zodgrod Wurtsnagger and almost at the Pain Boss level. However, still higher up than the Beast Boss on Squigosaur. Who knows why Games Workshop catalogue the things they do in this kind of order. But anyway, his power points cost is a 5 and his points cost is 95 points. And that's with everything you see there. You don't have to pay anything extra for the Power Claw or the Beast Chopper. In comparison, the Beast Boss on Squigosaur is an extra 55 points. So it's more than a 50% increase in cost to go for the Beast Boss on Squigosaur. Let's go through his stat line then. He's a movement speed of 5 inches, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 5+, strength 6, toughness 6, 6 wounds, 5 attacks, leadership 8, and a save of 4+. Let's just compare that to the Squigosaur. So because the Beast Boss is on Squigosaur, he's double the speed. His toughness is 1 better at 9. He gets 3 more wounds, but everything else remains the same. So it's whether you think that that's worth it, and also whether you think you can go without the Beast Snagger Claw, which is one of the main reasons you'll pick the Beast Boss up. He's equipped with a Shooter, Beast Chopper and Beast Snagger Claw. So the Shooter is nothing to write home about. It's just a normal shooter. It's an 18-inch range, DACA 3/2, strength 4, AP 0, damage 1. But he does have a targeting squig, so we'll talk about that in a moment. The Beast Snagger Claw, it's a strength of +4, so now he's got a whopping strength 10, AP -3, damage 2. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, subtract 1 from that attack's hit roll. That is unfortunate, especially when you compare him to like a normal war boss with a power claw, because the power claw times the strength by 2, so that's 12, and that's for the same armor penetration and the same damage. And I think that the power claw is actually better, because not only are you getting better strength, you're getting the same armor penetration and damage with the same handicap of subtracting 1. So yeah, the normal war boss's power claws, or any power claws really in general, are better than this Beast Snagger Claw. It's odd for Orks to have equipped a war boss with a melee weapon that's actually worse than other war bosses, but for no benefit. It is really strange. He's also got this Beast Chopper, which is the same weapon that the Beast Boss on Squigosaur is equipped with. That's the strength of the user, which is 6, armor penetration -2, and damage 2. Each time the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. So you can go for a number of attacks with that Beast Chopper. It's quite nice. Abilities. Beast Snagger, here we go. War Dead Tough, which is a new rule that they brought in for 9th edition for war bosses and other characters, where they get a 5+ invulnerable save. The targeting squig. Each time a model makes an attack with a shooter or a relic that replaces this model's shooter, you add 1 to the attack's hit roll. And so that's nice. So it's going to be 4+ to hit on a weapon that's only 18 inches and only gets 2 shots. Nothing to write home about. I would have liked some kind of like net gun or grappling gun, something to promote him being like one of the best hunters in the clan. Games Workshop have just stuck it really safe with this model, having it a shooter and a worse power claw. It baffles me how they can be so creative with some of the models, but yet so boring with some of the rules. Last ability, Beast Boss. While a friendly Clan Beast Snagger Core or Clan Beast Snagger character is within 6 inches of this model, each time a model in that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to that attack's hit roll. That's one of the main reasons you're going to pick him up. He is tough. He's got a nice bit of survivability, and he can dish out a bit of damage, but you're really picking him up so that he's got that aura ability near Beast Snagger characters and the Snagger boys. So they're going to be hitting on their 2+, which is fantastic, especially as Snagger boys have the 2 attacks each at the strength 5. It's going to be very useful. Keywords: Orks, character, infantry, Beast Snagger, war boss, Beast Boss. So there you go. That's my review of the Beast Boss. Something about this model and its rules doesn't really hit home to me as much as the war boss in Mega Armor. So if you were on the fence about this model and you're still waiting for the war boss in Mega Armor to be released separately, which I'm sure he will be, then it might be worth holding on still for that other war boss, considering that the war boss has a big shooter instead of just a normal shooter. And although the Ooze Chopper is 1 strength less, he's still going to be hitting it on a 2+ instead of the 3+. Considering that this wave of reinforcements for Orks has mainly been focused on the snake bites and the Beast Snagger Orks, I was expecting more thought and creativity to be put into this unit. But what do you guys think? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down below. As always, it'd be great to hear from you. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. For Gork and Mork.